Well, the Mediterranean diet, well, there's more than one. Different areas of the Mediterranean, there's 6 or 7 Mediterranean diets, and none of them are what they were, because they've all been influenced and corrupted, if you will, by modern processed Western foods, McDonaldo, as they call it in Japan, and all of these other problems. But the traditional Mediterranean diet would have had at its base whole grain foods and pasta and rice, fish, relatively limited amounts of eggs, meat on an occasional basis, and lots of fruits and vegetables. Olive oil would have been the most important fat or oil that was used, and wine, red wine, probably for preference. That's a pretty good diet, especially if you are living a physically active lifestyle, which of course traditionally the Mediterranean communities did. If you are now living in the Mediterranean area, eating Mediterranean diet, but you're living a sedentary life, you probably should cut down on your intake of the starchy foods, the polenta, the pasta, the rice, and all that sort of thing. You should be aiming to replace some of that with fermentable carbohydrates, resistant starches, as opposed to the digestible starches, and increasing the intake of fruit and vegetables. That would be your outline Mediterranean diet, and what it contains and what it doesn't contain is 2 halves of the health equation. It doesn't contain huge amounts of saturated fat and oxidized lipids and cholesterol products. It doesn't contain, in its modified contemporary version, too many compounds with a high glycemic load. What it does contain are high levels of omega-3s, phenolics, carotenoids, xanthophylls, limonoids, vanilloids, phase 2 upregulating compounds, a whole constellation of compounds which we know are, amongst other things, anti-inflammatory, which we know will increase the body's capacity to excrete toxins and carcinogens, which will improve certain aspects of immune function, which will slow many aspects of what we consider to be the aging process.